just want to be loved the way that I love.
I can't breathe.
I'm about to make the biggest decision of my life.
You're trying to get back with me.
This is the last time you will see my face.
Taylor, now that you've had time to reflect, I'd like to know what you think about JP's comments about your makeup.
So like right after it's super hurtful, obviously, but I wasn't gonna let it just like get me down too bad. But like right after I thought, okay, did I have too much makeup on? Did I not? Like I thought about it for like the longest time though, like, literally until I saw the trailer.
You're done up,
I'm
you
fine.
know?
Yeah. And so I don't know. I was hurt, obviously, because I took a lot of time to get ready that day to look good for him. And then for him to just basically say, you didn't look good and I don't like the way you look, it was hurtful. But I mean, now I'm okay. You learn from it. And like, I know what I'm willing to put up with. I think it's okay to have an opinion, and I would have been okay with him, I guess, telling me in a different manner. But the way he said it, and the way he went about it, not okay.
We only see snippets of the awkward silences between you two on the honeymoon trip, and I wonder if there were more moments like that we didn't see.
Oh yeah. That was a key reason to me leaving. The makeup comment is not why I left JP. I left because the person that I had fallen in love with was not in Mexico. Our emotional connection was completely gone. I mean, there were times where like I would sit there and be like, I'm just gonna let him bring up something. I'm just gonna let him talk. Nothing. And so for me, I was so confused. I was like, what the heck? This guy, like, who had opened up to me in the pods and like was able to be himself, was no longer the person I thought,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And was there any explanation about that? He said it was because of the makeup he felt like he couldn't like talk to you. Did he explain any more than that?
No, honestly, he didn't. And I'm still kind of waiting for that explanation. I will get it one of these days. But yeah, I think there's a lot more truth behind that. Like, I don't necessarily think that's why he struggled with opening up with me in Mexico. Because I mean, I didn't wear a lot of makeup in Mexico either. And so I don't know. I think there's a lot more to it than just the makeup.
Well, I hope you get that explanation one day too.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Aaliyah, what would you say is your current relationship status with Lydia?
I think that Lydia and I are at a place where we just have mutual understanding and respect for one another. And we've had several conversations, not recently, but following the filming of the show, where we were both able to be pretty candid and transparent and honest with one another. So I think we're in the best place that we could be, to be honest with you.
It's like you said that you learned that she may have known that Uche was going to be on the show before she was on the show. How did you learn that exactly?
I've gotten both sides of their stories, and I think that that's something that I'm going to allow them to share, like their stories on how things transpired. But I'll just say that I think that they both navigated the situation the best that they could, considering everything. I'm not really sure on the intention behind both people. I can only speak on like myself going into the experience and knowing that I was there to find my husband. I wanted to be authentic and open and honest about everything. And you just get dealt cards sometimes that you're not expecting. And it was very shocking. Everything that kind of came to surface was pretty shocking for me, but I think everybody handled it the best that they knew how. I know I tried my best to kind of step outside of myself and grant everybody some grace in the situation, and I did the best that I could in trying to do that.
You had a really hard hand dealt to you, I think, because what she was sharing with you, I mean, from my perspective as a viewer, kind of shattered the illusion of anonymity in the experiment for you. Do you agree that it kind of like ruined the experiment a bit for you?
Yes. I think that when you go into this, that if you are to move on and get engaged to somebody, that they're introducing their life to you. You know what I mean? And you're supposed to be removing superficial from this and focusing on the emotional connection. So there were things that she was revealing that I felt should have been introduced to me by Uche. You know what I mean? Like if he possess his assets and things and whatever else that she mentioned in our conversation. I felt like if it were going to be introduced to me and it's regarding him, it should have been by him. That's all.
Yeah. And it seemed from viewer perspective that it was like your decision to leave the pods was maybe more because of Lydia than it was because of Uche. Would you agree with that?
No, I don't think it was more one person or the other. It was a combination of things. You know, I had to kind of like really sort of remove my emotion from that decision specifically. Like I was very emotionally invested. I was like falling deeply in love with him at the time. I was truly all in. So I had to kind of like look at the facts of everything from all perspectives and all parties, and I made the best decision for myself. It wasn't really like more so her, more so him or anything. It was just sort of like, okay, this is everything that I know at this moment, and how do I feel about this? And my emotional security at that point in time was just kind of not there enough for me to want to continue and get engaged.
So that lack of emotional security is what really made you want to leave?
Yeah, that along with just the situation as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you and Lydia got into a maybe a big fight that night.
It wasn't a big fight. I wouldn't call it a big fight. I would just say the conversation was very emotional on both sides, and I think it was just pretty revealing as to like where not only she was, but where I was. You know what I mean? Where I was with the situation.
Thank you so much to both of you for taking the time. And yeah, I hope you're doing well after this very dramatic season.
Thank you, Kelly.